Hello. So, welcome. This is a short video about my book, Give to Live, that's been published for about 8 months in various forms. It's actually been through 3 different editions. It's published through Create Space, so it's an on-demand printing. So it's quite different than the traditional printing. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the journey of the book. I also put a face behind the book, besides just a picture. Of course, my friends know me, but you may not. The journey of the book began not with me, but with Vishnu Loka, who's a disciple of Radhanath Swami living in India. And he approached me through email that he wanted to, he had read my blogs on Dandavats.com, and he wanted to do a book. And I was like, yeah. Because, you know, I had thought about it, of course. I'd been blogging on Christian.com at that time for about 2.5 or 3 years, 2 years maybe at the time. And I had thought about writing before, but I'm not much of a manifester, you know what I mean, making things happen. I kind of respond to what life serves me. But anyway, he came with the project idea, and I went with it. I was excited about it. And we had a long relationship of 2 years. The book itself was 4 years, through a lot of ups and downs, and it was quite a journey. And at some point I wondered if it would even happen, because there was a lot of uncertainty and questions that came about. But in the book there's many stages that took place, and Vishnu Loka was the first stage, and it was a little difficult because of the distance and the language. You know, I mean, he spoke English, but there was some communication difficulty, technology difficulty. He was using technology that's not supported in the States anymore. And so he sent a CD, and that didn't work. And then we did a back and forth, a hard copy sent by post, and where I would edit it with the red pen and send it back. And we did that a few times. And at a certain stage, it's kind of like the energy of the book was like taking over. As a lot of people have shared, the book takes on a life of its own. So there was some energy, and I was getting inspired to make additions. At first there wasn't any chapters, it was just the collection of blogs, and then gradually I added different parts to it. Well, just doing the chapters, that was a big thing. I just sat down one day and I made some chapters, and then I divided the blogs into chapters. And it could have been done in different ways, but I pretty much went with this. And at a certain point, you know, I had a lot of ideas to improve the book. And I think Vishnu Loka, he's a preacher, and he just wanted a book to assist him in his preaching. That's wonderful. But I was a little too complicated for him, I think. And at a certain point, I think he just got frustrated with me, and he said, I can't do it. So then I was like, okay. Then I had this book and the energy to do the book. So at the time, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj had agreed to do the foreword, which was, to me, like miraculous. There's a lot of miraculous things in this book, in my estimation. You know, just unbelievable for me personally. So he agreed to do it. We had a relationship from before, and he read it over. I sent him a sample. And he said, you know, it really needs to be edited. It's still, some of your blogs in the book, they read like blogs, and they should, you know, you need to make some adjustments so that it feels more like a book. So I took that to heart, and I did tweak it so that I had come up with the idea of course, there's a verse or a purport before each blog, and then I added one at the end, and then I put in an introduction. And as I said, you know, then I got chapter headings, and divided it up, and then I added, the things that are usually in a book, acknowledgments and dedication and invocation and a foreword by him and a preface and introduction. And I just kept adding and adding, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And then the appendixes at the end, and that kept getting bigger and bigger. I had to actually, to make this work for Create Space, who did the publishing, I had to cut about 30 pages, believe it or not. It's already 400 pages. But it was actually a good thing. It was getting kind of unwieldy, and after I sent out 25 copies to be reviewed, and I got 12 reviews back. I was very happy with that. And also, there's been 3 editors, Babru Prabhu, Nanda Dulal of BTG India, and Ujjwala Rasa. And with Ujjwala, at a certain point after the other 2 editors, I just made all these changes, and I thought I better get some devotees to read it and see what they think. And I didn't know she was an editor, and she, in the middle of reading, she said, "By the way, I'm an editor, and I'd really like to edit it." And I knew that it needed some work, more work, and I was just like, wow, yeah. So we worked together for quite a while, and she really made it to a large extent what it is. She really polished it up, and the other editors really helped in their time as well. It's kind of like, all these layers of things going on to make the book and improve it and change it and tweak it a little bit, and so that was happening. And Madan Mohan, I hired him to do the covers, and that was a whole journey. It took about almost a year through different ideas and evolution, really. And also Yamaraj of BTG in Alachua was he did the layout, and he gave a lot of suggestions, and so that was very helpful. And but basically, like I said, the energy of the book, it was really moving forward, and yet at the same time there were so many reverses. There were so many, Vishnu Loka at one point, his wife was ill. I didn't hear from him for 6 months, and that was difficult. But it helped the birthing process. It helped me get new ideas because I was more focused on improving the book because of that time. And then Nanda Dulal, he got sick, and he was out of commission for like 3 or 4 months. So I was thinking at one point, is this really going to happen? Is it just a dream? Is it actually going to manifest? So that was interesting. And but I just kept with it. I stuck with it, and I just believed that it was going to happen. And I just with the journey of the book, and the book was leading in some ways. And my hope for the book is that devotees will be inspired by the message of hope, and showing the struggles of a devotee, that everyone goes through struggles. That's the rule. It's not the exception. We used to think it was odd for devotees to struggle, but that's just the way it is. It's just anything worthy of accomplishment takes time and energy, and there's going to be reverses. There's going to be ups and downs, but you have to stay the course. And if I could put it into a capsule, what this book is about, and what I would like my life to be about, is to help devotees to believe in themselves, to believe in their divine potential as souls, to transcend their story about their conditioning and their sorry past. It brought them to devotional service, but then it also can cause a lot of problems in relationships and in staying on the path. So that's part of it. And then not only to have faith in themselves and in their potential as a soul, but to have faith in the process of bhakti, chanting the holy name, devotee association, doing devotional service, hearing the Shastra, because even though there's a lot of blogs that I've written, there's a lot of verses in here too. There's a lot of excerpts in the appendixes about Lord Chaitanya, about the Holy Name. The Krishna Karnamrita is there in a few verses, and the glossary. Really, at a certain point, I wanted to try to make it as accessible as I could for a wider audience. I didn't want to have to rewrite it, but I wanted it to be as accessible as possible. I took out all the Sanskrit, I added the glossary, I tried to explain the terms, make them accessible as possible, hoping that new people or those interested in bhakti would be able to understand it. Because sometimes we hear that there's no books for new people, really. Of course, most of us who become devotees, we have some sukriti, we have some past Krishna consciousness that comes into play. And a lot of us, we read these books in the beginning, we couldn't really figure them out, but we knew they were special. We knew there was power, and we persevered with it. But I've thought that on every path there's a covering that people have to penetrate, whatever it is, Christianity or Islam or Hinduism or Krishna consciousness. There's a covering, and you have to be able to penetrate that to really connect with it, to really make it your own. So my hope for the book is that it may help certain people be able to conceptualize bhakti, be able to apply it in a way that works for them, have hope in themselves and in the process. And I have a number of other projects for writing books as well. And I hope that you might read this book. There are some reviews in the beginning of it from senior devotees. That was another wonderful, for me, accomplishment. I sent out 25 books, and I got 12 reviews, and I was very encouraged by their comments. And that's one of the things of life, to be able to accept people's appreciation as a gift, knowing that it's actually a blessing that you can do something of some significance. I should mention also Annapurna. Her artwork is on the front and back cover and is also in the book itself. And that was a wonderful addition, and she's a wonderful devotee, that she kindly agreed to let me use her line drawings and her artwork in the book. And that really, I wanted to make it aesthetically as pleasing as possible. And that was, Yamaraj did the layout, and he did a great job. It's interesting, he's more Zen, and I'm more like Gothic, I like all the fancy stuff. So we it's kind of a compromise in some ways. You can see the cover, fancy. I like it. I like fancy stuff, but it can't be too fancy, of course. But a book is a journey of the juxtaposition of a lot of people working together with a common goal, and it's quite amazing to be able to finally, after 4 years, to really have a book and to be able to see it distributed and hear people's feedback. So it's available on Krishna.com. It's available Krishna Culture. It's available in India through Touchstone Media and in different temples, and of course on Amazon.com. It's available in the softbound and the Kindle ebook. If you are like many people, it's cheaper. So please get a copy. And if you like the book, let me know and tell your friends. That's the best advertising. I'm a little out of my comfort zone in promoting myself, promoting the book, but the book is really about my gift to you. It's give to live. It really is. It's creative expression for me. It's a lot of things for me personally, but it's really about trying to encourage devotees and trying to serve them, and to do that in a way that works for me. So thank you.